Do you think I like nagging?
Oh, yeah.
It's you. You're not doing it. That's why I have to nag
That's
you.
what they would say.
You know?
Yeah. I think we'll know in heaven.
Wow, that's tough.
This is my side of the story with Esther, and today I have two other friends with me, and it is an interesting topic
Friend?
that among my friends we've been talking about.
I'm your friend?
No,
I'm offended.
my other friend that has been talking to
No,
me.
you said you have two friends with you today.
Yeah, I have two friends. You both are my friends.
Oh, see?
One is my husband and one is my friend.
That sounds right.
There you go.
And today we want to talk about men versus women, right? But not in a bad way, but the general complaint that I hear from my girlfriends who are single. I'm sure you've heard about it too. They ask the question on, why is there no man that can lead me? How come I can't find strong men in my life? Why are all the men so soft? Where are the men? Why are they hiding? How come we are the one doing everything and the men, where are they? Right? These are the common complaints we hear, especially if you are in a community, in church or at work, or sometimes maybe at home as well. So today, let's talk about that. It's feminine power making men soft, right? We have seen women rising up, women having more voices on social media. They talk about all sorts of stuff. They start to be more vocal. They have women's group. They have women empowerment group. So what do you think? What are your thoughts on a strong woman? Are they affecting how a man show up? Are they pushing you to be better? Or are they just too much? Too much of feminine power is not
you
good.
don't panic.
My mom's watching this.
No, the men are trying to get a ring, you know.
Yeah. It's good. It's good.
All the single ladies. All the single ladies.
I don't think it's I don't think it's a problem for the women being strong. I think that's amazing. I think what happens is because they're strong, a lot of men in my context, especially in the Philippines, a lot of the men will be like, okay, I don't have to lead because they're already leading.
Okay.
And so
And then the women are thinking, come on, guys.
Yeah,
you guys are not
exactly.
leading. So we got to buck up and step up. And we gotta lead.
exactly. And so it's like it's a dance, but they're not dancing with each other. And so the women
Poetic.
Yeah, and
That's
so,
soft.
and so the women are knowing, like what I notice is the women are seeing that things need to get done. And then the guys are more taking their time or waiting for someone to call them out. And because it's taking too long, the women step in.
Yep.
And then when the women step in, the guys are like, oh, they already got it, so I'll go play or something. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But
That's a very interesting take.
but that is how the women in general, they feel. Especially in a setting where they're put together with the men. I would think a woman would want a man or somebody else to rise up. But because there's no one, and that nurturing side of a woman feels bad or feels lousy if nobody helps out. So they take on that responsibility. So they step up. And sometimes maybe showing up as too powerful, too in control, having everything taken care of. So then the man probably will look at it and say, hey, that's a strong woman. Let her do everything since she has it handled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe there's a problem with the rhythm. That perhaps is true. Men are probably taking a bit more of time, their own sweet time, to rise up. Probably that's one of the reasons why they are seen as not stepping up as quickly, right? You know, growing up, they say, I'm not sure whether it is scientifically proven, but girls speak first, usually. And then boys speak later. I think sometimes the girls, the ladies, the women, they could maybe articulate, express way quicker than the men. They step up quicker because they keep thinking that these men are not doing anything, right? Like what he said. The men probably needed a bit more time. But when they step up, they do good, right? Or maybe the things that they want to step up to is quite different from what is expected of them. So it kind of like, I'm growing, I'm developing as a leader, but it is not what you imagine it to be. But I would think women in this area, they are more straightforward.
So do you think, from what you see among friends, at work, out there, whoever you meet, do you think men are a bit more soft these days?
I think we confuse between being soft and being kind, right? Being kind is not necessarily soft. Being kind, it's really giving up of yourself for the benefit of others. Being soft, you are just not being yourself anymore. Like instead of correcting somebody, you think that you're being kind, but actually you're not. You're just being soft because you don't want confrontation. And I think if we think guys more soft these days, I think it's because it's more celebrated, more acceptable. So it's easier for them to remain in that environment. Because if you're a bit stronger, you're a bit pushier, or you're more demanding, then there are repercussions to it. You don't listen to me, you don't give me space. And I think
But
it's
generally,
a conflict
men,
avoidance thing.
and men don't really talk
Right.
as much as women in general in terms of expressing what's not working, their faults, their flaws, whereas women were just talking about every single thing. So with that, a common complaint from women would be, how come the men are so emotionally unavailable, right? So they see that as, hey, a lack of that male leadership, a lack of you stepping up as a man to lead me when you are emotionally unavailable to me. And I hear that a lot from couples who are fighting. You hear that from the female partner, right? Complaining about the partner that, hey, you are not showing up for me. You're not there for me emotionally. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think me and my wife were just talking about that,
Yep.
where she's like, I think we're opposite. Like, you're the emotional one and I'm the, the straightforward one. And I think,
So who? You?
yeah, I'm the emotional one. And my wife is like, I'm the one telling my wife, give me emotional support.
Okay.
But it's more, I think it's more of, usually it's, for me, that I notice it's more of what you believe is the goal, right? And so in the beginning, I thought the goal was, okay, I got to be the strong, I got to be the supporter financially, getting everything, the budget, the house, all of the material things, right? And then as I realized, like, hey, wait, those are the things that I see more on media and more on, that masculine voice out there. And then I remember there was a time where I was thinking about how did my parents lead me? Because my parents have such a great relationship. And my dad was a guy who would work so hard. Like he was a security guard. He was a Oscar Mayer hot dog packager, and he was working multiple jobs to support. My mom was the VP of Bank of America for trade, export, like all of that. But my mom wasn't the one who was dominant. It was still my dad who began to lead, but with emotions.
Yeah.
And he was really caring, and it was more of a I was able to watch that. Hey, look, my dad's leading, but he's also emotional available, and so I think if you don't have like a role model, then you're gonna choose a goal that you think is correct, and sometimes for many men, it's more of that. Okay, that's stoic, that non-emotional. Men don't cry. Let's go forward, kind of thing.
Yeah. So going back to what I talked about just now, I think just have to wait a bit because I really started thinking a lot after you posed the question. When men step up, like, of course, maybe in the past is suppressing the women, but only recently there was a first sushi Michelin star chef who is a lady, a woman. All this while it's been men. But if you think about it, right, it's always mom that's cooking at home. But all the chefs, top chefs, are men.
Yeah, so true.
Maybe they are just late boomers. And it's not always bad. They just take longer to arrive at a certain thing. Probably because they process longer and then they step up. I'm not sure. Maybe women just able to articulate faster. So if we keep compare just the outward and not willing to, like both of us, we had nothing when we first got married, right? I don't know.
I was young and dangerous.
Me
I didn't
too.
think much about it. But these days, as women get older, right, they would question a lot of things. I want my man to be this, to provide like that, to be that for me, to show up in that way, to be a certain level at work. So there are many demands on men. Is that what you're trying to say? How it becomes harder as women get older?
Wow. Yeah, in a way.
Okay, I have another question. So help the women understand. So in that waiting period where a man is maybe questioning things, waiting for the right moment to rise up, going through certain things, processing things, what are the real struggles of men at that season? When from the outside, it feels like a lack of responsibility, a lack of stepping up, not showing up, just passive. So what is that man doing with himself? Can you help us understand?
I really never think so much about this.
Right.
But as you were saying, I think the waiting period is terrible for anybody, right? I'm like 5 years older than you, right? And I realize I see a lot of things first before you. And I will tell you what I'm experiencing at this age of mine. And then a different age group. But then I'll tell you, hey, don't you worry, you'll get to where I am, right? One day. But I realized you actually catch up way quicker than me because I was figuring out. So I think maybe when a girl likes a guy, a woman likes a man, and he's not quite there yet, it's like you're roasting a chicken, right? You need just a bit more time. But this doesn't seem like anything's happening in the oven. But you're roasting. And you cannot keep telling the chicken, come on, man. Faster, hurry up. So I if I'm a man, I think that's a lot of nagging and pressure and like, why are you not successful yet? Why are you not achieving this? Why? But it's roasting. It's getting there. Then if you force it out, then it looks crispy on the outside. He's groomed, brows
Looks apart.
done,
Okay.
muscular. This is the outside. Then when you cut open that chicken, it's still bloodied. It's... And I think after a while, if we just focus on the crust, on the crispy bit, then the inside is immature. It's still red. if you think that this is a man that, well, you never know the future. You have enough in you. You're happy to settle down with him and have a child with him. Wait, he will one day come out of the oven. Bam! Kenny Rogers. Sorry, it's not advertisement, but
Yeah.
perfectly cooked. Crispy on the outside, tender on the inside, no blood. Best. I think, as I was hearing you, I think sometimes we take out the chicken too early.
A woman would say, you have a timer. Just look at the timer.
But if you're the chicken, it's not for you to say. It's a chef that takes out the chicken, which means there are filters in life that allows you to be processed, and then that's when you're ready. You know.
Okay, so what are these filters that you're talking about?
Wow, that's a lot of things. It's about failure. It's about overcoming disappointment. It's about opportunity. It's about people that you meet. It is about your own past, dealing with that, dealing with your own insecurity, your inability. And furthermore, this is a tough chicken because he doesn't talk. He keeps everything to himself because he's not used to expressing.
Yep.
And so it becomes so difficult to standardize the chicken, if you like. Man, we're turning the chicken, bro.
Here we go.
Here we go. All right. And you really, it's so easy for both of us now. We look back at our lives in our marriage. Yeah. At one point, I'm sure Nolan feels that he has no future. It was so difficult. I have countless encounters. I thought, man, what am I doing? But nobody can tell us that it's going to be okay. Nobody knows the future, right? But the chicken has to go through the oven, the heat, and it's the willingness to wait for the women, I'm afraid. But when he comes out perfectly roasted, not roasted as in roasted, but roasted, he will be a good lead.
A woman would have a struggle with waiting because they will feel like, why should I lower my standards?
No. They don't have to. They just have to continue to be themselves. Just don't impose their own speed and timing on their men. Like, you never impose on me. You actually never
So I did something right.
And tomorrow, we are married for 20 years.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, tomorrow.
Come hands, bro.
Congrats.
Tomorrow. I don't remember a single moment in our marriage, in my life, that you will tell me, can you just buck up and earn more and do better? You never. We had nothing. You happily married with me. Thank you. We have a bit more, you're happy. We have a lot more, you're happy. And then we don't have a lot, you're still happy. Never once you look down on the different seasons of my life. It kind of like gave me space to figure things out and just, okay, I'm done now. I figured that it's not what's working. Let's do this. You were fine. Men probably will be, well, when I say man, I can say man singular me. I cannot say him, I'm not sure, or others who are listening to us. It just gave me so much confidence that I'm on the right track. And I think for men to be on the right track is to know that your wife will not leave you, nor forsake you. There we go. Even in times when you're figuring things out.
Right.
To a lot of our listeners, they probably will be thinking, good job, three of you, you're married and you got that that spouse, that wife, you made it. And like, what about us? We are like struggling here. I don't see that. Every time I try to show up, the girl is complaining that I'm not strong enough, I'm not good enough, or the girl is like, hey, every time I try to let myself out there, get to know people, but these people just suck the energy out of me and they're like nobodies. So I think to help some of these listeners understand who they are and to step up, I think maybe for you, Nolan, how do you think a man can lead himself to that place? What would be maybe specific steps, maybe 3 steps or 4 steps that they could start thinking of to just prepare themselves to be that man they really want to be, or to be that man that God has created them
for sure,
to be?
yeah. Because I think there's 2 different men, right? So one is the one that's already married and that's already in a relationship. And so it's a different thing that they're working through false assumptions, working through miscommunication, working through, are they aligned with their expectations upon each other, right? But then the bigger audience is the single, right? And so what happens is you have the women, generalizing, who kind of know what they want, right? This is my age already. This is what I want. This is what I need, but I can't find a good man or whatnot. But the man, I think, like what Pastor Kevin was sharing, I think what happened is as we get older and as we mature, what happens is we don't have those guidelines anymore. So as we grow, we have guidelines of, okay, you finish school. Once you finish school, make sure you find a good college and get good grades. And then after you finish college, get a good career. And then after you get a good career, then you have just this random goal that is years ahead, is find a relationship and get married. But in between those is the development process of a man. But there's if there's nothing there to teach that man, okay, what do I do now? Right? And so it is kind of like a man walking in the dark, trying to figure it out. And when they do it wrong, they hear the complaints, and that might get them discouraged or all of that. So what I usually tell the guys in our community, what I tell the guys who are adults already, I tell them, pursue. You got to learn how to pursue. Because many times the guys are like, I can't find a woman, or I can't do this, or I'm like, okay, how are you looking? Right?
That's good.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll be ashamed, like, oh, I can't meet anybody.
Yeah.
But in our generation now, in this time, like a lot of times you can't make friends. Really, it's hard, right?
Yeah.
But then there's apps and sometimes they're embarrassed, like, I'm on this app. I'm like, don't be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only way you're gonna find connection. And so I'll remind them, you shouldn't just wait and hope God drops somebody in front of you. Like,
but that's a wrong conception.
Yeah, there we go.
Right? The wrong preconception. Remember when I was in Manila with you, we helped this guy go after a girl.
Yeah.
Right? We don't mention their name.
Okay.
Right? Because they'll be watching. But he kept thinking that he was not good enough. He was a nobody. But I just thought he was a great guy.
Yeah.
Maybe he is not at the level yet.
Yeah.
And I was texting him after I came back, and I pressure him. If that's the girl that you like, just go and approach her. And he did. And then they're together.
Right.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm so glad. So I think in the Christian community, there's also that wrong preconceived idea that if God wants me to be with somebody, it's like God does the searching, God does the approaching. No, it just think that God does everything and it should just appear in front of me. Right? And then so that we can say that God prepared her for me. I honestly do not know, where do people get that idea from?
Yeah, it's so much pressure right there.
That God prepared someone for you? I mean,
out of 1 billion people in the world, there's only one.
Yeah. Then what do you do? So if that's how they think, I think after they're together, they don't know how to pursue, they don't know how to maintain the relationship and how to take the relationship to the next level because, well, God gave you to me. So I think there was a season in church life that people just these are romantic truths that are not real. Who in the Bible God prepared someone for the other person? Like, don't tell me if it was a different context, right? So that paralyzed the man, not knowing. And as I hear him, he has an interesting take because Nolan, you grew up in America, you grew up in LA, right? And you kept saying things like, and they didn't know what to do. They nobody told them. There's no goal, and that's a different culture. But for us here, there is this, hallucination that God prepared somebody for me. No, he did not. Because if God were to give you a choice to choose even Jesus, which is a way more critical question in life, right?
Right.
Then why did not God allow you to choose your wife or your husband for that matter? So I want to talk about that. And I think if the man has this problem, the women too, right? It's a constant waiting upon God to tell them that this is the guy I've prepared for you. So they end up not, this is not the guy. Actually, at the decision-making time, they say no. They're the one that say no, not God.
Yeah.
Because say, I don't. If you have a list of men that you're looking for, come on. How can you tell me that it is God preparing someone for you? It's you wanting somebody for yourself. So I think we just a mixed bag of romantic truths, wrong understanding, make it sound spiritual, but totally not reflective of the God that he is. And so when we put God in that mix, man, it gets complicated. So complicated when God is like, come on, I've given you a brain. I've given you the truth. I've given you a spirit. Go and make decisions based on these three. Isn't that enough?
Yeah. I remember so many times people will ask me, how did you know my wife, how did you know she was the one? And
I like this.
And I always I didn't know she's the one. She became the one when I said I do. Once I said I do, there's no more backing out. There's no other choice. And I think a lot of times what happens is we say that I can't find somebody, I can't. But at the end of the day, like you said, is we are actually just denying the people that we've come across because they're not hitting certain things that are benchmarks that haven't developed yet, but we want them developed already. And then we're saying, well, they're probably not the one. And now blaming God.
Actually, that's interesting. When you say that they haven't developed the benchmark yet, that's why a lot of women would prefer older men.
Yeah.
Not just that, women expect the man to be an all-rounder.
Yeah.
Right?
How I wish I am.
Right? You do at work, you show up your best self, you are emotionally attuned, you understand all these different things, you can take care of people, you can get out there, you can strive, you don't fear failure, all rounder, right? Especially in a small community setting, say for example, church, right? All the more you expect the men to be able to lead you spiritually, to be able to look strong, muscular, can do emotional stuff. They could, they could preach, they could sing, they could lead groups, they could everything, right? So I think that's where the female really struggle in church because they need a certain kind of like a image that they could look up to, right? Alongside to what you said, they prefer older men. With women stepping up into leadership more, all the more they will feel a lack in qualities of some of these men. So one of those things I would think, as you were saying, how I was when I was younger, I think a woman needs to know the different aspects of leadership, right? Like if a man shows up maybe strong in certain areas, maybe at work, he's really somebody, but at church, maybe more reserved. Learning to see that as a good quality and build from there and accept that man from where he is, I think that's a good starting point. But female usually struggle with that because they will say, oh, there's no spark. I just don't feel it. I don't feel it. Right? They need that spark to feel like, oh my gosh, I can't stop thinking about this man.
Comes along.
The butterflies.
Right? So yeah, butterflies. Oh my gosh, I look up to this man a lot, but they don't have that. Hence, they feel like, oh, I can't do. Like this man is nope, like off the list. So to balance that out, I think it has a lot to do with leadership, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Firstly, is leadership with the self. So how can a man lead themselves forward? What are some of the specific steps that they could think of or look into?
I remember when I was thinking about getting married, and I had a mentor in my life in LA, and he's like, "Bro, you're thinking of getting married?" I go, "Yeah." He's like, "Then why do you still live at home?" And then I was like, I think I was still 24.
Still?
Yeah.
I left home 17, man.
Hey, you know, I'm
Come
Filipino.
on.
We stay boys for a long time. But
The valley's good.
then he goes, how do you expect to have someone into your life with you still living at home? Your parents are still paying for your bills, doing this. I had a magic hamper. You know what a magic hamper is? You throw dirty clothes and then it comes back clean. Magic, right? And he goes,
that's my job at home.
and he goes, I would recommend you move out, live by yourself, learn how to do all of that things. In other words, he was saying, learn how to be a man, not a boy under your parents' house. And then when you realize that you can do this, now that you can take care of yourself, then you'll be more confident to take care of someone else. And I would always recommend that to guys. And I get it. Sometimes financially you can't be on your own or whatnot, but you should be aware that are you still living as a boy in an adult body?
Yep.
Or are you actually an adult now? And so I would, if you can, I would recommend, getting your own place, moving now. That's one way to mature you very quickly, right? I don't know. What do you think?
Ooh, I like it. Yeah. That's the way to do it, man.
Yeah.
What else?
What else?
What can they do? They're like dying to hook up with the woman of their dreams, but the woman is not looking up to them. So where they are at, what can they do?
I'm old school. I like a working class hero story. So the first thing they got to do, like what he said, is that you just got to show up when you're supposed to show up. Show up for work. It's got nothing to do with, is this your dream? Is this your goal? Is this what you want to do in life? I think we are too bombarded by too much of universalism in our lives. Like you have to question this, question that. But while you can question all these things, you should do the basics still.
Okay.
Not at the expense of doing the basics. Because leadership starts with just turning up. For me, that's the way. Yeah.
Okay. Suddenly I thought about this question. What do you think about strong women? Is it intimidating? Is it too much? When is that strong woman too much? They need to tone down, in your opinion. That really puts you off and you look at them and you're like, oh my gosh, this this girl is just too much.
This girl is on fire.
Yeah, too much on fire, like too
Okay,
much. When is it too much? So that I think it's good to hear from the man's
Please-
perspective.
Please
Okay.
don't confuse this, okay? Men doesn't mind a woman is strong. Men mind when they're being mothered.
There you go. That's what I was thinking too.
Okay, describe the difference.
If my wife is capable, why am I complaining? If, the Chinese has this, right? The wife has to be able to cook in the kitchen and host in the living room. Man, that's a big demand, right? When women stop cooking in the kitchen because they're working outside, they don't, they just host in the living room.
Right.
But I have no problem. I mean, I don't know if any guys would feel so bashed up by their wife if they are capable more than they feel disgusted if they're being mothered all the time.
Okay, so if the man is not stepping up, right, into their role and responsibility, and the woman feels like, oh my gosh, so she ends up having to mother the person. So if she's trying to control, okay, I can't mother this man, I gotta let him be. What's one good way? What can the woman do to encourage a man that is lacking to step up? What will work? So if we can't say, we can't mother, we can't, what would work?
Celebrate him. Wow, I think all the comments be like, like, what are you talking about? It's very hypothetical and very academic. I know some men, you celebrate them, wait for them, they will really step up and do so well. Some men, you celebrate them, they will go downhill all the way, right?
Yeah.
Right? I know.
It's a fine balance, right? Isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. I mean, I think for if they're a married couple, there's one thing where, you have to distinguish. Okay, am I mothering or am I still partnering? Right? Mothering is no longer partnering. It's I'm doing it for you, and I'm doing it because you're not. And when you enter into that, you now change your attitude about the person. And no longer is it a partnership. Now it's more like you're just another child, and I hope you grow up. And until you do, then
I hope I grow up.
But when it comes to the partnering part of it, it's in a place where you now have to have those hard dialogues, right? And say, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is what you're not doing. Like, how can we work this out without nagging? Right? Because men, if we feel like it's nagging or demeaning, then it's easy. It's either, it's polar opposites. There's no more middle ground. It's going to be either I shut down or, I
react.
Yeah, I react wrongly. Okay, you want me to be a man? I'm going to be a man, right?
No, but the problem is, right? Do you think I like nagging?
Oh, yeah.
It's you. You're not doing it. That's why I have to nag
That's
you.
what they would say.
Yeah. I think we'll know in heaven.
Wow, that's tough.
I think just taking personal responsibility, right? Whether you are a man or a woman, just knowing your role, the part that you play. But a lot of the single people out there, I think the majority of people listening to this episode would be single because this is a highly demanded topic. According to our poll that we did on YouTube recently, talking about relationships was one of the one that people were requesting. And this first topic came about because after our previous episode, we were having lunch and one of the staff just started asking about relationship questions. Then she suddenly said, oh yeah, a lot of my female single girlfriends, they struggle, right? They always have this question, how come there are no men that could lead me? How come I cannot find that man? So I think there's two parts to it. For men is to just know if they're needing time to rise up, what are some of those specific steps? Like you talk about role model, mentor. Right. You talk about going through the grind, just doing well in what you do and just be consistent. I think for women, it would be just learning to step alongside a man.
Yep.
Right? Encouraging him not nag and just hold space for the man to rise up. So should a woman kind of purposefully not do certain things, knowing they could very well accomplish the task, and let the man do it so that at the right time, you guys will rise up?
I don't know what would that be, but I don't think it is fair to ask the women to do less
Yeah.
so that the men will do more. What you are capable of doing is you. What they are not capable of doing is them, right? So I think if a woman thinks that they can do more now, they should. And if a man knows that he is not doing enough, he should step up. Whether he's still figuring it out, I think figuring out things in life does not excuse us from showing up properly. Right? So yeah, I just keep hearing both of you. Sometimes it's in that friendship, in that relationship that you know that this guy, it's someone that will pursue things in life. Or you know that your husband is going to be the chill type and he is quite okay and you are happy with that. It will be quite pointless if you keep expecting your husband to be someone he's not. My dad was a simple guy, loves us, spend time at home. You know, he didn't think about buying a bigger house or driving another car. He's just at home. When mom is at work in the hospital, he's just at home, right? And mom seems happy. Dad is fine. The trouble is when we keep wanting something that our partner is not.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where, because of what we want, I think that's where it is not just about differences, but it's conflict. Yeah. I mean, I hear stories, right? This one guy is a gamer. Play games all the time in their courtship. All the way until they got married. They got 2 kids. He's a gamer most of the time. And he would love to just play game, right? Doesn't really do very well at work. So the wife just keep nagging and nagging and nagging. And one day he just had enough. He started working and then started working, and the secretary just appreciates him. Like kept, appreciating him. But the wives keep nagging, like, you're not doing enough. Our kids are not doing well. I don't have nice handbag. So he started working hard and started buying stuff for the family. But the secretary just so impressed by this man, like, wow, it's so amazing. And after a while, he just stopped loving the wife and started hanging out with the secretary. So, I don't know. It's so complex. But you got to really know what kind of a person that you're marrying is, so that you push. I mean, don't say the wife pushing the husband pushing the wife too hard.
Yep.
At some point, somebody will fall off the cliff.
Yep. I love this conversation. I'm sure there are a lot more topics we could talk about when it comes to men, women, masculine, feminine energy. I think one thing I got out of this conversation is a lot of times we use the negative feedback to encourage somebody, right? To push somebody, like, how come you can't be this? Why can't you do this more? Like, can you just step up more? I think the way, like just now what you said, is to celebrate each other. So if we learn to use positive reinforcement, right? Just reinforce positively, even when you don't see it, you don't believe it, but you celebrate that person's strength and who they are. You encourage them. I think it changes something inside of you. If you are searching for that partner in your community and you've been thinking about it, start from this place. Learn to just celebrate that person, to show them, how you appreciate them. That would be a good place to start, right?
Yeah.
I hope you guys have enjoyed this special long edition of this podcast episode on
My side of the story.
3 sides of the story. Right? You've heard 3 different takes on this topic. Please like, share, subscribe, tag us if you have questions, and we'll see you in the next episode.
One of the problem with male leadership is sometimes they are too afraid of their wife being upset. They are not comfortable when things are not comfortable at home. So if the wife does something wrong, I mean, we have been talking the whole time, right? It's always like the husband is not doing this, not doing that. What if the wife is not doing what they're supposed to do? Right? The man, very often, dare not confront that issue.
Right.
And that creates a host of other problems too.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, because why would you want to invite conflict in, right? But it's in that conflict that actually growth happens.
Yeah, that's true.
But in the middle of that conflict, it gets really tough to start calling each other out, or calling each other up. Actually,
Men generally are more accepting towards the other person's maybe flaws or or weaknesses, maybe too emotional, too sensitive. But women generally, it's very hard for them to accept that. Maybe in the beginning they can, but after a while, they would start complaining, right? They would start, criticizing, being very negative about some of those things, because their emotions are clouded, right? When they get emotional, they start to go the negative route with the men. But men generally, you try not to because you don't want conflict.
Yep.
So you, even if the woman is too much, right? But you try and just keep the peace by not saying it, and you just take it in. So it seems like men are more accepting, isn't it?
It does feel like that. I think men are less picky, but they are men that are picky.
Yes, of course.
And I think the conclusion should be, if we are less picky over the small stuff, like don't sweat the small stuff that much, other areas should flourish. Because if you keep just, why is a pillow not put this way or that way, too many nitty-gritty, and nobody will enjoy the relationship.
Yeah.
I
think a lot of times what happens is, because we all have each side, the husband and the wife, they have a perceived future, right? What they believe it's supposed to look like. And then sometimes, I don't know where I've learned this, but I was taught this where, marriage is about compromise, where you wanted to go here, he wanted to go here. You can't get any of that, so compromise. So none of you get what you want. But I think it's more of something that we haven't, or isn't really taught or learned as we get married is, okay, you have that, but now it's time for us to not compromise, but to build a new road together. And if that conversation doesn't happen, there's always gonna be that fairy tale that you're holding on to and the fairy tale I'm holding on to. And then it causes all those issues.
Because if they hold two parallel lines, it will never meet.
Yeah.
And compromise is not a bad word in a relationship. But knowing what we are compromising methods, not values.
I like that. Yeah.
Right? I'm not giving up my values just to be in this marriage. So methods and, destination will always change. But if we're willing to hear each other, you will get to a way better place than what you intended to go. Right? So when we conduct wedding, there's a part where it says mutual compromise. So it is not, when you compromise, it may feel like it is a lesser you, but it is a fuller us. And I think that's important. Unless if you're not pursuing that fuller us, you're so concerned with a lesser me, why do you want to get married? Like, it's going to be so difficult for everybody.
Yeah.
So I thought that was necessary.